The changes will ensure that citizens can continue to prove their rights easily and bring greater clarity for those required to check immigration status. Changes to the EU settlement scheme. So it's about EU settlement scheme. Announced today will ensure that all those granted pre-settled status under the EU settlement scheme can continue to prove their rights easily. Pre-settled stay is a temporary stay. When you have it, is having 5 years pre-settled stay in the UK is 5 years temporary stay, at the expiration of that 5 years, if you can prove that you have been living in UK and be paying your taxes and you are law abiding, they will now give you settled stay. Settled stay is a permanent stay which is equally going to last about 5 years. At the end of that 5 years, you'll be eligible to get the UK citizenship or nationality, and bring greater clarity for those who are required to check immigration status, such as employers and landlords. The changes support the Home Office practical implementation of High Court judgment in the judicial review proceedings brought by the Independent Monitoring Authority for the Citizens' Rights Agreement, IMA. In response to the judgment, we announced changes to the EU settlement scheme in July 2023 to ensure that nobody loses their immigration status if they do not apply to switch from pre-settled to settled stay. So they adjusted this law to make sure that nobody loses their immigration status if they did not apply to switch from pre-settled to settled stay, of which some people that have it last year, they extended it to another 2 years, so that in that time frame of extension of 2 years, you will have enough chance to be able to bring clarity to the table that you have been living in the UK, you are law abiding, then you can apply for the settled stay. Announcement changes to the EU settlement scheme in July 2023 to ensure that nobody loses their immigration status if they do not apply to switch from pre-settled to settled status. The Home Office has continued working closely with the IMA to implement the judgment, having listened to concerns raised by the IMA and others about the potential implications for those affected by the decisions. The changes announced today will ensure it remains easy for those holders to demonstrate their rights in the UK. In response to that judgment, we announced changes to the EU settlement scheme in July 2023 to ensure that nobody loses their immigration status. The Home Office has continued working closely with the IMA to implement the judgment, having listened to the concern raised by the IMA and others about the potential implications for those affected by this decision. The changes announced today will ensure it remains easy for holders to demonstrate their rights in the UK. So this is wonderful. So it means that based on the court judgment, the Home Office is doing all it can with the support of IMA to make sure that people that are already having the pre-settled stay will not lose their right of remaining in the UK, as long as they can bring clarity to the table by proving that they have been living in UK, they have been working, paying taxes, and they have equally been law abiding. Then it will make it much easier for them to get the settled stay. So if you fall on this group, be ensured that you are not going to lose your pre-settled status if you can prove it by bringing clarity to table, by proving you have been living in the UK, by bringing your pay slips and all that, and you can prove that you have been working and you have been law abiding, then you can be able to switch to settled stay.